Robert Reich, political scholar. In 2003, he won the Vaclav Havel Prize, awarded annually to a person whose work has significantly addressed fundamental problems of humanity. He's the author of 10 books, including the most recent, Reason: Why Liberals Will Win the Battle for America. In this interview, Reich discusses the ethics and economics of the global marketplace and grassroots politics, never losing sight of the common good. On taking politics seriously. Robert. I should say that I approached this class with some trepidation, because in the sister course we were talking about politics, personal choice, personal efficacy, and the ability to feel that you can actually have an effect on your society. Somehow, during the course of that session, I got into my head that I should run for the governor of Massachusetts, and I lost. So just be careful what you say. Anything could happen in this session. Let me urge every one of you, at some point in your life, you do not have to run for governor, to take electoral politics very seriously. If because of cynicism or resignation, you decide that politics is somebody else's business, you're ceding the political arena to the other guys. I have said this before. Politics is the applied form of democracy. Unless we understand it and practice it and take it seriously and really be part of the political process, we are not effectively utilizing our power in this democracy, and we are not experiencing what this democracy is really about. On grassroots campaigning in elections that are won based on money. Robert. In Massachusetts and other states, it is still possible to have a ground war through grassroots organizing and to run a campaign that is based upon both the internet and people talking to each other. I went around this state, town by town, city by city, and spoke at town meetings. I think if I had done it for another year, I might have won. I did not have the money, but I did spend 5 hours a day on the telephone calling everybody I could think of, asking them to contribute money to my campaign so that I could have a little bit of an air war. But the winner, Mitt Romney, ultimately spent $12 million, and something like 4, 5, or 6 million of the 12 million came from his own pocket. We cannot have a democracy that is dominated by rich people who are basically paying for themselves. Nor can we have a democracy that is basically run by big companies and even big labor or any big organization that are financing campaigns. Now, where does that leave you? Where it leaves you is, if you want to be involved in politics at the grassroots, there is still plenty of room. Even California, I would not give up on. I think we have got to revive grassroots politics in this country. I think that is the only way of combating these air wars unless we get campaign finance reform, clean elections reform, and some public financing of air war campaigns. But that is no replacement for grassroots campaigning. Question. Could you say a bit more about the experience of your gubernatorial campaign? For many of us, you struck us as a person of enormous hope, someone who would keep going on no matter how badly things went. What does it feel like to be in electoral politics for the first time and see the way that large amounts of money can bulldoze ordinary citizens who are trying to make a difference? How did you maintain hope? Robert. How many of you have taken an introductory economics course? What microeconomics leaves out is that we carry around in our heads aspirations for the common good. It is not only aspirations for what we want for ourselves, but we also have ideals about what is good for our society, what is good for the world. These aspirations, whether we call them the public interest, the common good, or something else, are the stuff of which politics really should be made. And you can tap into them. The best thing about being a politician was traveling around Massachusetts. In fact, even when I was in Bill Clinton's cabinet, traveling around the country and talking to people, we talked only about their own needs, healthcare, childcare, better school, pension reform, but also their aspirations for what other people needed. I remember when we tried to raise the minimum wage in 1995 or 1996 for the first time in years, most people in Washington told me, there is no way you're going to get public support for this because the minimum wage touches just a small fragment of the workforce. It is an old democratic thing nobody cares about. Well, it turns out that 85% of Americans thought the minimum wage ought to be raised. Many of them felt very passionate about it. We steamrolled a Republican Congress because they had so much mail from so many people saying this is the only right and decent thing to do. If you want to get into politics, people want to hear aspirations about the common good. People also want to behold and vote for somebody who has integrity.